This is an article that I felt would be or should be newsworthy because these are the type of articles that you really don't hear too much about. No one reports on these articles here. Just like the video I did regarding the shooting that took place that nobody knew about, because the officer stepped in and saved the day. He saved a lot of lives. But people like that you just don't hear too much about. This article, I had to talk about it. This is not going to be a long video, hopefully, but I had to talk about this because these are the type of articles we just don't hear about. Police, Syracuse man pointed loaded gun at officers before being arrested. Now, usually we only hear about articles that's dealing with white dudes that point firearms at the cops and they live, or they do mass shootings or school shootings and they live. They live to face trial. All right. So we don't hear about articles too often where a black male points a gun at a cop and he lives. Now, cops had every right to put him down. Cops had every right to stop him because he pointed a loaded firearm at police. You see him. He's a dark-skinned brother, right? But he pointed a firearm at a cop. Now, take a few minutes to allow that to register in your mind. A black man that everyone claims that the white man hates and the white man want to destroy. And I'm not saying that there's no racist cops out there. And it's sad that I have to say that because blacks are going to come back and say, so you're saying racism don't exist? We know. And they're going to think of some type of excuse to complain. They're even going to come back and say, well, that's only one, but what about the many others that were killed by police? You mean the ones that actually did crime? Those that actually created that environment for themselves? Are those the one you're talking about? Right? But this article reads as follows. Now, I'm going to take it and put the link on the bottom. You guys could, check it out for yourself. And if you guys are really about that life, if you're really about that life of putting positivity and the truth out there, you guys will come to my blog site and you would do a video on this article here. It's there for you to use. You can come to the blog site. There's a lot of information that I hadn't even made videos about this on this blog site. You can get your ideas off of here and just reference the blog site, right? Of where you got the information from. So Syracuse, New York. A Syracuse man who pointed a loaded gun at officers after a domestic dispute. So this brother's violent. Or he found himself in a violent situation. Was arrested Monday, according to Syracuse police. Nashawn Nance, 20, of Syracuse, was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon, criminal possession of a firearm, menacing a police officer, and harassment, police said. Think about it. Nothing's mentioned, and maybe that's where the menacing a police officer comes in. He pointed a loaded firearm at a cop. All right. Officers responded to the 100 block of Smith Lane at 11:33 after receiving a call about a domestic dispute that involved a weapon. Police said the victim told officers her boyfriend, Nance, punched her in the mouth and pulled out a handgun. Police said he pointed the gun at her and threatened to shoot her, she told officers. During the officers' investigation, Nance returned to the apartment, police said. When officers saw Nance, they told him to show his hands, police said. Instead, Nance pointed the gun at the officers before running away, police said. He dropped the weapon as he ran away, but the officers arrested him. Let me repeat that. But the officers arrested him Let me repeat that again, just in case that did not sink in. But the police officers arrested him outside of an apartment building, police said. The gun was a loaded Smith & Wesson Colt 45 revolver, police said. Nance is being held at the Onondaga County Justice Center pending his arraignment, police said. Right? So these are the type of articles you don't hear anything about. Not only was this dude involved in domestic dispute, he threatened to shoot his girlfriend or baby mama or whoever she was, and then he turned around and pointed the gun, a loaded gun, at a police officer. He could have shot her. They could have killed him. Forget the fact that he threw the weapon down and ran away. They still could have killed him and then justified it, because we all know how cops be twisted information around. But they allowed this 20-year-old brother, this 20-year-old black man, because y'all like to use the term black, they allowed this 20-year-old black male to live. But I wonder how many people that's going to talk about this and even give police the praise for allowing this 20-year-old black male to continue living. So I'm going to put the article on the bottom. You guys feedback and you tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.